So why is it that when they're always looking for cuts in the educational system, they start with the music and the arts? It's usually in the poor communities where where the people who teach are usually commuters. They don't even pay taxes. Thank you. It's our children that suffer. Can you imagine a world without music? Everything we do is associated with music. Our rites of passage, every significant event. We celebrate life and death to music. We found freedom through the songs and music. And that's why we do what we do.
Nzinga's Daughters is an ensemble of women who share their gift of song and prose from the east coast of the United States to the west coast of Africa. We are Nzinga's Daughters. For many years, Nzinga's Daughters provided cultural workshops for the Bristol Youth Services. Acting as role models and musicians, Nzinga's Daughters supported the Girls Empowerment Program, which was called Pride. Nzinga's Daughters is comprised of very talented women. Each woman plays musical instruments in the larger group called Nzinga's Daughters and Friends. In addition, Taffy Ann Bentley is a professional photographer, Taffy over there, with a focus on nature. Allison Johnson is a visual artist, and she also happens to be president of the board of the Queen Anne Nzinga Center. Excuse me. Gail Williams, that's me, is a fashion designer and retired state employee. Well, I am. I'm also the historian of the African American history for the town of Plainville and a member of the Connecticut Freedom Trail Committee. Joanne James, who's not with us today, and she's our percussionist, and she is a visual artist and teaches African percussion and dance. Dana Snell, over there on the end, is a licensed clinical social worker. She's also the founder and executive director of the Queen Anne Nzinga Center. Each of the members has received several awards and recognitions throughout the state in their own right. Excuse me. Nzinga's Daughters are keepers of the plantation songs that our ancestors who were brought to this country and enslaved sang to express their deep sorrow or to keep their spirits up as they worked in the fields and homes of the oppressors. These songs are known to you as spirituals, but to us, they are our sacred music. These songs held secret messages in them for those of us who wanted to escape slavery because of the terrible conditions that were put upon the enslaved blacks. Many of them wanted to run away. Many joined free blacks, Quakers, and Native Americans and created codes, signs, and signals that led to something that came to be known as the Underground Railroad. Wade in the Water is one of such coded songs. This song tells you to walk in the water when you're running away, so the hounds can't catch your scent, and to look for someone wearing a certain color because that person will help you. If you're greeted with the words, friend of a friend, you'll know you're on the right track. This first song that we're going to do is called Wade in the Water. Run, Mary, run. Run, Mary, run. Run, Mary, run. say.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Run, Mary, run. Run, Martha, run. Run, Mary, run, I say.
You got a right to the tree of life.
You've got a right, you've got a right.
You got a right to the tree of life.
You've got a right, you've got a right.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Martha and Mary got a right.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Oh, Paul and Silas got a right.
You got a right to the tree of life.
The cross is heavy, I got a right.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Run, Mary, run. Run, Mary, run. Run, Mary, run, I say.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Run, Mary, run. Run, Martha, run. Run, Mary, run, I say.
You got a right to the tree of life.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Children,
Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
see that host all dressed in white.
God's gonna trouble the water.
It must be the leader of the Israelite.
God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
See that band all dressed in red.
God's gonna trouble the water.
It must be the band that Moses led.
God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. We bring these songs to schools. We do workshops and teach the songs with the stories that go with them and have the students perform them with us. The Queen Anne Nzinga Center Incorporated promotes positive youth development among children of all races and abilities throughout Connecticut, but primarily to children in Plainville, Bristol, and New Britain. The center offers educational and performance-based programs to children and youth throughout the year. The programs are designed to build self-esteem, enhance life skills, and foster creativity in an environment that celebrates diversity and provides intergenerational mentoring. The Queen Anne Nzinga Center strives to serve youth and our community at large by encouraging our youth to develop their confidence and talent, and then highlighting their talents in a community-focused art-infused production for the greater community to enjoy, performing to inform and inspire. Nzinga's daughters have performed on the same docket with Ralph Lord Roy, civil rights activists, Pete Seeger, and Melanie, who sang at Woodstock. Some of the Queen Anne Nzinga Center children have performed with Betty Harris, famous rhythm and blues singer from the 1960s, as backup singers. They traveled with her to England, Spain, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Austin, Texas. Nzinga's daughters' performances help subsidize the Queen Anne Nzinga Center. We have participated in a Day on the Underground Railroad live with Bristol Youth Services at Pine Lake in Bristol. Fifth graders from some of the Bristol, New Britain, and Hartford school systems are slaves for a day, and they learn what it was like to be enslaved. We, Nzinga's daughters, play the parts of ex-runaways who have a safe house, and they help the runaways to freedom. We tell them stories of what happened to us before we ran away and teach them some of the codes and songs. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. Chariots were symbols of escape to heaven and home, and the words heaven and home meant freedom. The words, if you get there before I do, meant you may have to skip me this time, but come back and get me on the next trip.
Swing low, sweet chariot,
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
I looked over Jordan, and what did I see?
Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
If you get there before I do,
Coming for to carry me home.
go on, my friends, I'm
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Besides learning performance skill and getting ready for Kwanzaa and summer concert, the youth at the center are exposed to various life skills like patience, table manners, tolerance, dancing, mask making, jewelry making, and once a year they go to Pine Lake and experience Challenge by Choice. There they have to depend on their peers to get through certain physical challenges. There is a flying squirrel where the participant is fastened into a harness, which is fastened to 6 ropes and 6 people, and you have to depend on them to take off running in the same direction and pull you way up in the top of the trees. Then they let you down, and slowly. That's just one of the challenges. There are many, and they are out there all day. This next song is a song that soothes your soul. You'll understand it better by and by.
By and by, when the morning comes, all the saints of God are gathering home. We will tell the story, how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. We are often tossed and driven on the restless sea of time. Somber skies and howling tempests all succeed a bright sunshine. In the land of perfect day, when the mist has rolled away, we will understand it better by and by. And we're singing by and by, when the morning comes. All the saints of God are gathering home. We will tell the story, how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by. I got shoes, you got shoes, all God's children got shoes. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my shoes. I'm gonna walk all over God's heaven.
Walk all over
Heaven.
Walk all over
Heaven.
Well, let me tell you,
Everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Heaven.
Don't you know?
Heaven.
Well,
I'm gonna walk all over God's heaven. I got a robe, you got a robe.
Well,
All God's children got robes. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my robe. I'm gonna strut all over God's heaven.
Strut all over.
Heaven.
Strut all over.
Heaven.
Well, let me tell you,
Everybody talking about heaven, ain't going there. Heaven.
Don't you know it?
Heaven.
Well,
I'm gonna strut all over God's heaven. I'm on my way
I'm on my way
to the freedom land.
to the freedom land.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way
to the freedom land.
to the freedom land.
I'm on my